Good Monday afternoon, everyone. After a soggy weekend, guess what's back? We have some haze in the sky. How long is it expected to linger around with us? We'll have a check of your forecast in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. And thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. D.C. Police, well, they have a new leader. This is Pamela Smith, and she becomes the first black woman to serve as chief of police. She's been with law enforcement for over 25 years, and she joined D.C.'s police department in May of last year. D.C. News Now's government and political reporter Leonard N. Fleming joins us live. And Leonard, first of all, good afternoon to you, sir. Let's talk about why the mayor selected Smith.
Good afternoon, Mark. Yes, indeed. The mayor talked about wanting to have someone in this job who had the qualifications and the passion for D.C., who's someone who lives here now. She lives in Ward 8, and she said, look, crime is a problem, but she feels safe, and she wants to be a transformational leader. And as you mentioned, she is the first African-American, or will be the first African-American female when and if she's confirmed by council. And this is a job that she said she wants, and she wants to move forward with it, and she wants to redeploy officers into hot spots in this city to really get a handle on the crime. And here's Acting Chief Smith talking about her humble upbringings in Arkansas.
While this is personal for me today, my childhood was marked with turmoil and challenges. I grew up in an environment where my father was addicted to drugs, and my mother at 21 years old had to figure out how to raise 3 children on her own.
Councilwoman Brooke Pinto, who was at this press conference here at the MLK Library, talked about a little bit about the confirmation process and how she wants a speedy confirmation process. So in the next half an hour, we will come back with more details on why Acting Chief Smith wants this job. Reporting live in Washington, D.C., Leonard and Fleming, D.C. News Now. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you. And for more information, you can head to our website, dcnewsnow.com. Let's take a live look at the Kennedy Center. And it may be a little hard to see than normal because we have smoke in the air. It has returned because of the wildfire smoke coming from Canada. Meteorologist Damon Madsen joins us now. Damon, I guess my question to you, sir, is this going to be just an ongoing thing? It comes and it goes.
It's been that way all summer, exactly. As long as the fires keep burning and we have the right weather pattern, more or less, yeah, it's going to be something we deal with on and off here. So, folks, that's what we're going to see as we head throughout the rest of your day today. You may have noticed we didn't have this over the weekend, but we had a lot of rainfall. It seems if we don't have one thing, it is another. And again, this is that look from our rooftop camera, hard to see off in the distance with that haze and smoke lingering about. It's not as close to the ground as it was back in May and June when we saw those very poor air quality levels, but nonetheless, it is out there and it's noticeable, and we're not the only ones dealing with this. This plume of smoke again came right down with a north to northwest wind pulling that smoke out of Canada, much of the mid-Atlantic and northeast seeing this smoky, hazy sky here today. Now, technically, we don't have an air quality alert in effect across any portion of the DMV, but nonetheless, that air quality index is at a moderate here as we clearly have some of those particulates in the sky, and those that are sensitive to the smoke and the haze at times, children, the elderly, those with breathing problems are going to notice the impacts as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening. So those folks can take it easy. If possible, stay indoors as we do deal with that hazy sky. But as we head into the evening, this isn't going to last very long because we have a cold front approaching the area later tonight that could spark up some showers and storms. So who sees rainfall today, and where are those showers and storms going to be tomorrow? We'll have a full check of your forecast in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. One person is left without a home after a fire broke out at a house in northwest D.C. Officials say it happened on 1st Street around 1 this morning, and fire and EMS say that there were no injuries. Investigators are still trying to figure out how the fire started. Well, here in the district, police are warning drivers about upcoming street closures and no parking zones during the Major League Soccer All-Star Game events tomorrow and Wednesday. and that's all taking place at Audi Field in Southwest. And take a look at these closures in Southwest area. Potomac Avenue will be closed between South Capitol and 2nd Street. R and T Streets will both be closed between 1st and 2nd Street, and 1st Street will be closed between Q and B Street. And you can find a full list of closures and no parking zones on the D.C. Police Department website. Well, we have an update on the timeline for Maryland's long-awaited Purple Line. The opening date has been pushed back once again, this time until May of 2027. The new date is 7 months later than the most recent estimate, over 5 years later than the original plan. Officials say the most recent delay will cost the state an additional $148 million. Montgomery County Executive Mark Alvord says taxpayers and transit riders continue to pay for former Governor Hogan's mismanagement of the project. Well, good news for Northern Virginia commuters. Orange Line construction is complete, and the Vienna and Dunn Loring stations are back open. DC News Now's Lex Juarez is at the Vienna station with what you need to know about the new improvements.
Well, it's a good Monday morning if you're a Fairfax County commuter. The last 2 stops on the Orange Line now back open after about a month and a half of being under construction. Now, this is all part of the Metro's summer construction plans. Engineers replaced about 25 miles of track on the Orange Line. Those are some of the oldest tracks in the system with that original 40-year-old steel. Teams also cleared out some plants that were growing around the system and installed fiber optic lines. Commuters tell me that they are excited to get back here, even though they are having to adjust.
We live right very close by, so we have a system in place. But of course, it's been a couple months, so you got to kind of start all over again.
Commuting is a pain in the butt. It really is. Driving into the city, especially when you're leaving the city, is horrible.
Understandably so, commuters are excited to be back on the Metro Rail.
Park, sit on the train, listen to your favorite song, and go on in.
And the summer construction projects will continue with WMATA. We're done in Northern Virginia for now. The Orange Line open back up, of course, but we're going to jump over to the Green Line into Maryland, to Prince George's County. Commuters will be the ones who are going to be feeling the impacts of this. From Fort Totten Metro stop up to Greenbelt, these will all be closed starting on Saturday, and that's going to be under construction for about a month and a half. Now, while this is going on, the Red Line stop at Fort Totten will still be open. They're also going to be offering some free shuttle services to get commuters from those other stops into the city and into the rest of the Metro Rail system. So WMATA is just asking people to, of course, be patient with them as they do make these improvements, but also factor a little bit more time into their daily commutes. On top of that, though, if you're going to be riding anywhere else in the system, especially here on the Orange Line, it's going to be smooth sailing for those commuters. In Vienna, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
All right, Lex, thank you. Well, this afternoon, Metro Transit Police are hoping to boost their number of employees on the force. They held a prospect day over the weekend to help people finish several steps of the hiring process. More than 250 people signed up for the event. The department offers a $10,000 sign-on bonus for new employees.
We get out here and we're looking to really boost up our hiring for police officers, police communication specialists, as well as our special police. They're on Saturday, once a month we hold them. The next one's going to be August 19th, so please come out.
Metro Transit Police will hold monthly recruiting sessions through January. The next session is set up for Saturday, August 19th from 9 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. Visit the WMATA website for more information. Well, Maryland actually could have a leg up over Virginia in the battle for the future FBI headquarters. The General Services Administration, which decides the final location, is changing its criteria for choosing a site. It's given more weight to cost and social equity. Maryland leaders have argued that placing the headquarters in Prince George's County, which is majority black, goes a long way with President Biden's commitment to invest in historically underfunded communities. In response to the new criteria announcement, Team Maryland, which is made up of top leaders from the state like Governor Wes Moore, is saying that this is encouraging and, quote, a step in the right direction. And we also reached out to Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, who says in spite of the GSA changing the criteria, Virginia remains the best location for the FBI. Well, recreational marijuana became legal in Maryland on July 1st, and dispensaries are feeling a business boom. On one marijuana producing plant in Hagerstown called Terracin, is increasing production. The Senior Vice President of Commercial Operations says they need nearly 2 times more product to keep up with demand.
Maryland announced its plans to legalize adult use, TerrAscend, began preparing by amping up the production. We also expanded our cultivation facility, and increased our partnerships in the state to meet the growing demand.
The company says they're committed to meeting this new landscape in marijuana production. Well, there is still opportunity for some low-income families to register to pick up a free laptop starting tomorrow in Montgomery County. It's a new program created by the county's Digital Equity and Inclusion Program to give out tens of thousands of free laptops. And Montgomery County officials say that low-income families make up 21% of county households, and they also represent a significant percentage of households without computers. The county's Digital Equity and Inclusion Program received a $7 million grant to hand out 34,000 Chromebook laptops to low-income households. And those families have to meet certain qualifications to get the free Chromebook. They must be enrolled in a benefit program like SNAP, free school lunch, WIC, or project-based rental assistance. And families must be enrolled in the Affordable Connectivity Lifeline internet or telephone discount programs. And the household must earn less than 200% of the federal poverty rate. So where can you get a laptop? You can make an appointment for the following places. The Gaithersburg Library is handing them out from noon to 4 p.m. on Tuesday, the 18th, and that's tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, July 19th, you can pick them up at the Wheaton American Job Center from noon to 4 p.m. And the McGee Library in Silver Spring will offer them the following day, July 20th, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Well, the 22nd, you can find them at the East County Regional Services Center from 11 to 3 p.m. And the following Tuesday, that's July 25th, from noon to 4 p.m. at the Germantown American Job Center. And on the 27th, that's next Thursday. Next week, visit the Aspen Hill Library from noon to 4 p.m. for a laptop. And finally, the last day they will be offering laptops in Montgomery County is Friday, July 28th, from 2 to 6 p.m. at the McGee Library. And remember, you must have an appointment to pick up a computer, and you must bring a photo ID and proof of your current address and proof that you are enrolled or eligible for an internet discount program, and you must have an email address and a phone number. NFL owners planning to meet this Thursday to potentially vote on the sale of the Washington Commanders. The teams were reportedly notified of a special league meeting later this week in Minneapolis. 24 of the 32 owners will need to approve the deal between Dan Snyder and the ownership group led by Philadelphia 76ers owner Josh Harris. That's after the two sides agreed to a record-breaking $6 billion sale back in May. If the sale is approved, the new owners will need to find a long-term home for the franchise as they try to replace the aging FedEx Field in Prince George's County. Well, the Women's World Cup kicks off literally this week. 5 Washington Spirit players are headed to the competition for the first time in their careers. Among them, Trinity Rodman, who hopes to break into the U.S. attack. Now, she scored twice in the Americans' last game before the tournament. The tournament kicks off again Thursday. The U.S. played their first game Friday night.